What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's us. Let's get productive. So, we are living in very interesting creative times. I feel like the very ground of music production is shifting beneath our feet right now. With all the technological advancements and software, nowadays you can get your hands on sounds that would have cost you an arm and a leg before. Arm, leg, get your hands on, get it? Bars. There's a whole new category of VST instruments that are completely cloud-based, and it's awesome. The VSTs for VSTs, if you will. You have subscription-based VSTs like Arcade that allow you to have an endless library of sounds, and it's constantly being updated with all of these new sounds and instruments that in the past you would have probably had to get 2 or 3 different VSTs just to get your hands on them. They're constantly being updated in this new thing called the cloud, and that's really cool. So today I wanted to talk to you all about a new VST in this cloud-based category, and its name is Studio by Studio Link. I'm not even lying, I am in love with this thing. Like, this thing is a game changer, and it's a game changer for a few reasons. Reason number one, even though you already have VSTs that are cloud-based, like I mentioned before, Arcade, I love Arcade too, but Arcade is kind of like the VST for the every producer or the every composer. Like, there's sounds and samples in there that someone who's making trap music or hip hop music might never use, but someone that's scoring a film might use, or someone that's making pop music might use, or EDM music. The reason this thing is a game changer is because for all of my hip hop producers out there and my trap producers out there, this is like Arcade for you. This thing was made with you in mind. This is something for the culture right here. Like, this is a true VST for the culture. I'm loving everything it brings to the table. And it has a lot of other surprises and other really cool things that a lot of other cloud-based VSTs aren't doing. So without even talking about it too much and building it up, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna review this thing. We're gonna use this thing. I'm gonna make a track with it, and we're gonna go over all of the things that make this VST really cool. So stay with me. Let's get right into it. Okay, so as always, I have Logic queued up, my favorite DAW, and I have Studio queued up, ready to go. Yeah, so once you download Studio, this is what it's gonna look like. Right off the back, you can see it's a really smooth resizing process. I can resize the UI to as big or as small as I like. I love that. I could take up the whole screen with this thing if I wanted to and just make it my workstation, or I can make it a little bit smaller and get a better sense of what's going on in my DAW. So that's really cool. We're gonna keep it like this size right here. At first glance, it looks like there's a lot going on, but I'm gonna break everything down for you guys so you can really get a sense of what's happening on the interface itself. Like I said before, this is a cloud-based instrument. You have a bunch of collections of different VSTs, if you will, like smaller VSTs. And those collections are being updated weekly or, very often with new sounds for you to get your hands on and use however you like to use them. If you look right here in the center, you see that Studio image right here. This you can change by just going right up here to the options menu, and you can change what Studio image you want to show. These are real studios that exist, and you can have the image of that studio, kind of like inspiration, just something really cool to look at. And you can just scroll through the different studios and land on the one that you want to use. They have the top floor music studio, drum controller studio, photo, home studio. Let's just use the home studio for now. So you would click that, and the next time you open up Studio, that's going to be the image that you're looking at. I think that's really cool and really inspirational, something to look at while you're getting your music done. And if you click right up here, the eye gives you information about that specific studio. So right here, this is a home studio setup. What the typical home studio might look like. It says a 3D render of common home studio setup. This studio includes a nice white computer desk, laptop, microphone, drum controller, desk light, and a pair of studio monitors. So if you are building your own little home studio setup and you need a little bit of an idea of like something cool that might work for your home studio setup, I guess you could look at this photo right here and get some ideas. But It's like that for every studio photo that you pull up on the UI. It'll give you a little bit of history about that studio. And like I said, they have the Abbey Road studio on there, so you can get a little bit of a history lesson on the Abbey Road studio. If you look over here on the right, this is kind of like your workstation. You have your master section here where you have your presets and your layers. You can save your own presets. So when you do something really creative in here, let's just say, let's go to my content. Let's go to instruments. Abstract elements. Let's go to instruments. Say you pick this key here. So say you pick this key here. And then say I wanted to save that preset. Say I tweak it a little bit by using these filters that you see over here in the effects section, and I add the filter, high pass filter. And some reverb. And say I wanted to save that preset, I would just hit save right here and I can name it and save the preset. Up here you have the BPM that you're working on, 120. Now, the reason this is important is because if you look up here, these 4 tabs up here in the top, you'll see presets, you'll see instruments, you'll see sounds, and you'll see patterns. Now, this is really cool stuff. Over here in the pattern section, they actually have an entire library of MIDI instruments, an entire library of MIDI sounds that you can go through, and you can actually use these MIDIs inside of the VST. They have sounds in the sound category, and these are all sampled sounds. And you can drag and drop that sample right over here. You have 4 different sound patches that you can drag instruments or samples to, and you can manipulate those samples down here in this section. You can adjust the crossfade. You can adjust where you want the sample to actually start. I can widen the range of keys that the sample can be played on. So now it can be played at any key. I can have the sample start right here. If I want to sync the sample to the tempo, all I have to do is hit this button up here, and any tempo that I'm working on. So right now I'm working on 120. No matter what key I hit the sample, it's going to play at a 120 BPM. That's really cool that you can sync up the sample with your tempo. I think that makes things a lot easier. And you have instruments as well too. So let's go through the library, the collection of sounds over here on the left side. Let's go to the Trap Guru. As you can see, when you click one of the collections, it highlights it, and it's only going to show the instruments from that collection. If I click another instrument, let's click Trap Mafia. Now it's going to show me the instruments from the Trap Guru and the Trap Mafia sounds. So whatever instrument you click on from the collection is going to show you the sounds from that collection. So right now we have Trap Guru and Trap Mafia selected. Let's say I have a bass sample in this first patch. Let's say we wanted to add some keys, some pianos or something to that bass instrument. You can demo the sound before you actually choose it. So you can just hit this play button right here. And it'll give you a bit of a demo of what that sound sounds like. So let's say we wanted to use this lead right here, this Crunk 14 lead. I can drag and drop that onto the patch right next to the bass sample that I have. And it'll play both of them together. Now, that sounds horrible to me. I would that's not the way I would put these things together, but I'm just giving you guys an example of what you can do, like the possibilities that you have with this thing. I mean, you can drag and drop samples. You can drag and drop other instruments. If I don't want to use that sample anymore, but I want to keep the lead, I can still do that. And now if I want to add another instrument on top of that lead, I can go, let's go to drip. Go to drip. Let's add that. If I want to lower the volume of the lead and let the key stand out a little bit more, I can just take this wheel right here, this knob right here, and lower it. And then take this one over here and raise it. Now the keys stand out a little bit more. And I still have the option of 2 more patches that I can add sounds to. So we can, let's go to Vox Choir. And I only want to see the Vox instrument right now. So I went to Vox Choir. I can demo these. Let's take that one and drag and drop that. So now I have all 3 of these being used. I think this is really cool. I think it opens up a large amount of possibilities of what you can do creatively with your tracks. I mean, we only went through 3 of the collections as far as the different samplers they have on here, and we layered up some sounds. We basically made our own sound just now. Now, this thing also comes with its own presets, and you can go through those presets by going to the presets tab right over here on the left. And you can just click something you're looking for. Say you want to click the bell, this one right here, Bell Store Mad Nights. You would drag and drop that into the presets window. And now you can play that preset that you just dragged and dropped. So you can see this one has a bell toy reverse, and this one has a bell xylophone. That's really cool. So yeah, like I said, they have a whole lot of content on this left side here that you can choose from to really just go crazy creatively and come up with some really interesting things. You got everything from ethnic whirl, ethnic percussion. They have drums on here, Edm Trap, Drake-ish, drill. They have a sampler on here that the singer Bobby Valentino actually lended his vocals to, so you can use his vocals in any of your beats. I can also go up here to this search box right here and just type what I'm looking for. I type Bob, the Bobby V pack came up. I can type brass, Anthem brass comes up. I can type choir, choir box comes up. I can type EDM, EDM trap, EDM SFX. So you can use this box up here to type what it is you're looking for. This thing is really cool for hip hop producers. A lot of the sounds that are in here are dedicated for that genre, which makes this thing automatically a standout because you can kind of at least get a sense that most of the things you select in here are going to be things that are useful for the kind of tracks that you're creating. You have a harp one right here, World of Harps. And these are all sounds that you can use. All these sounds are playable. Even the samples in here can be synced to your BPM, so you can use them at any tempo or any kind of track that you're going for. Now, the next cool thing, this is something that I think really makes this a standout amongst all of the cloud-based VSTs. This is something that I haven't seen. I don't know if it exists or not, but I haven't seen it in any of the cloud-based VSTs. This pattern section right here, go to patterns right here, is full of MIDI patterns from every single one of these different collections of VSTs on the side here. And you can search the type of pattern you're looking for, the type of MIDI pattern that you're looking for. So say I'm looking for something that sounds a little bit like Drake, a Drake type melody. I can type Drake right here. Or I can type, let me see. Yeah, see, Drake type, arrested Drake type, body Drake type, division Drake type. All of these are MIDI patterns. And even with the selected BPMs over here on the side of the different MIDI patterns that you may choose, you can hit the sync button and it will still sync up with your project. You can go over here to the side and you can pick an instrument. So this is how you would add the MIDI patterns. You would go over here to the side, you would pick an instrument. Say you pick OVO 3. Let's say in the OVO 3, you want to pick let's find something a little bit more like, well, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm going to use this Saturn Synth. I'm not really a fan of that sound. So I have my instrument selected, the Pluck Saturn in the OVO pack. Then I would go to Patterns, hit Drake type, and I have all these different Drake type melodies. Let's pick growing Drake type. I would just click it and drag it right down here to the window. And after I drag and drop my MIDI pattern onto the pattern box right here, I can just go to the keyboard and play it at any key I'd like. All I'm doing is holding my finger on one key and it's playing out that MIDI pattern. Now, the really cool thing about this is, like I said before, it says that this MIDI pattern was created at a 78 BPM, but my project is 120. Because I have sync highlighted, it's going to play the pattern at 120, even though this was created at a 78 BPM. I think that's really cool. It gives you a lot of hands-on control over your MIDI patterns. The same as the samples. It gives you a lot of hands-on control over the samples that you select. If I wanted to add an effect to that MIDI pattern, I can just click effects right here, go to this plus box and click the kind of effect that I want to add to it. Let's add a chorus effect. And then let's also add a phaser. You can turn any of these effects on and off by clicking that little power logo right up there at the top left side. If you go to output, you can affect the ADSR right here in a very simple way. If you want to affect the attack, just drag this knob here. If you want to affect the decay, drag this up and down. And the release, you can just drag right here and affect the release. You have your velocity curve section right here. So like I said before, this VST is definitely a game changer. There's way too many collections of sounds on here for me to go through all the sounds in this thing. And it's, like I said before, it's constantly being updated. We can go through some of the things here. Edm Trap Pack. It comes with 808s. Bass. EDM brass. Oh, this one is kind of dope. This synth trap. This synth right here is kind of dope. They got a Drake-ish pack. So I guess it has Drake-ish type sounds that you can use melodically. Lots of sounds that you can use. Church organs. If you want to unhighlight the specific collections that you have highlighted and just get back to the entire list and everything being highlighted, you just go up here and hit clear. It'll clear that right out for you. I saw one with pianos. I want to check that one out if I can find it. I mean, there's a lot of collections here that deals with pianos, but was one in particular that looked a little interesting to me. Acoustic pianos. I want to hear what these sound like. All right, I like this one. This will probably be dope for a trap beat. I'm gonna use that one. All right, and I'm gonna pair that up. I'm gonna pair that up with another one. Because that piano has a bit of a lo-fi quality to it. I want a piano that's a bit brighter underneath it. So we can pair it up with this one. Right? Turn this down and turn that one up a little bit. All right, that's cool. That works for me. Right, so we got two paired up. You know what? Let's just jump right into the cook-up. Let's get a beat going real quick and make a beat with this thing, and let's see what this thing is all about. Let's see what it can really do. So I have my pianos queued up right here. I adjusted the volume a little bit to get that piano sounding exactly like I wanted it to sound. I already added a few effects to the piano, so I got vibes for texture and give it a little bit of record crackle, and the OCS 45. I love this thing. It's a cassette simulation just to give my piano a bit of that lo-fi feel to it, and I added some compression to kind of bring that those elements out, the dynamics of the piano, bring those up a little bit and make it shine a little bit. And this is what the piano sounds like now. So we're gonna add that real quick. So let's just hit the record. All right, we can quantize it a little bit. Do I think 1/16 triplets might be right. So we're gonna do that. Cool. That works out. Let's see what else. You can copy and paste it a few times. Bop, 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 bop. Boom. Works for me. Okay, so now we're gonna look for maybe a guitar. Let's type concert guitars. Let's see what that's about. I don't know what the human voice is doing in concert guitars, but we can use this one, steel guitar. Maybe another guitar underneath it. that one too. Yeah, let's try. So we'll do that. All right, we're gonna add that on there. Let's let this first half be the intro. Yeah. Try 116. Yeah. All right, that works. Okay, so unfortunately, my camera just messed up for a second, and I thought it was recording, and it wasn't recording. But so just to get you guys caught up to where I'm at with things right now with the beat, I just added another sound. I decided that I'm gonna start working on the intro of the beat real quick. I just added this violin sound in there. I turned it into a wave file so I can manipulate it a little bit more. And let's add another instrument. Let's go here, duplicate this track, and let's add something else. Let's look for like a string instrument. Orchestral hits and stabs, realistic strings. Let's try this. Let's X these out. But that has kind of a weird texture to it. And I love weird shit, especially in my intros to my beats. So let's see how that goes. Let's turn the volume up a little bit. Perfect. Just hold that one note just to give it some atmosphere. Give it some background atmosphere. All right, let's move on to the next thing. So let's go look for a nice bass. Maybe let's check out trap. Let's see what they got in the trap category. Trap boom. Let's see. 808. Let's try trap mafia. Trap percussion. All right, let's try that. Let's just add that for some bass. Let's just add a drum loop real quick. And now what I want to do is I want to halftime this drum loop and kind of chop it up a little bit to make the intro sound a little bit slower and a little bit more dramatic. So let's chop that up real quick. So I'll take like half of this, split it, boom, come over here, make a new audio track, drag that over here. We can let's throw halftime on. Let me hear that back real quick. See, maybe a little bit more. See, or even slower maybe. All right, so I got my sample chopped up right here. Now what I did, I'm gonna open this up a little bit just so you guys can see what I did. I took the drum loop, I brought it over here. I took some of the low end out of it just so it wasn't so much bass on it. Because I have an 808 underneath it, and I'm gonna add a kick underneath it just to give it a little bit more thump. And what I did is all of the parts where the snare hit during the sample after I slowed it down, I put those pieces down on separate tracks so I can raise the volume on those a little bit more and EQ those a little bit different. And this is what it sounds like so far. So now what I'm gonna do is, right in that beginning, I'm gonna add a kick just to give it a little more thump. All right, we're gonna double click that, quantize that. Raise the volume on that a little bit more. Where's that violin sound? Right here. I'm gonna raise that a little. All right, and now I'm gonna add an 808. So I have my favorite 808 saved under user presets. I'm gonna use the nasty 808 right here. I like this one a lot, so let's just get that going. All right, I might manipulate this a little bit more, move some notes around, but let's see. Nice. All right, copy and paste that so that I can manipulate the notes a little bit. All right, cool. And dope. And I'm gonna add a shaker or maybe like a breath sound. Let's just throw that in there real quick. That's all I really need. I can copy and paste that. Kind of like how this sounds already. I don't even know if I want to add a bunch of other things to it. I think I'm gonna just leave this like this. Maybe I'll come back to it later, but I think I'll just leave it. Let me throw a quick mix on this. I might manipulate the pianos a little bit. They feel a little bit generic to me. Let me just do a quick mix on this real quick. All right, so we're back. I did a quick little baby mix on the beat. I made a few little adjustments to, you know, switch up the textures in some of the piano, make it sit in the beat a little bit better than I felt like it was sitting. And we're gonna play it back, and this is where we at with it. So this is the beat I made with Studio. So yeah, that was Studio by Studio Linked. I'm really enjoying this VST experience. There's so many great things about it. I obviously didn't go through all of the sounds that are in this thing, but I can assure you there's more than enough sounds to keep you creatively motivated. And like I said before, it lives in the cloud, so they're constantly updating the sounds to give you new creative opportunities. I just really love the potential that this thing has. So right now, cloud-based virtual instrument, you can start a free trial. So right now you get a 7-day free trial. And after that, it's only $9.99 a month. So $10 a month. You get unlimited access to the entire suite of sounds, and they're constantly updating it. It comes with 1,700 multi-sample instruments, 5,000 loops and one-shots, and 600 MIDI files. I'm really digging the MIDI files. Like, the MIDI file thing is super cool. So yeah, love what you guys did with this one, Studio Link. I look forward to more things from you guys in the future, and thank you guys for watching. As always, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you can be notified anytime I drop a new video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.